I don't know who needs to hear this today besides me. It's from a man. Don't look for peace. Don't look for any other state than the one you are in now. Otherwise, you will set up inner conflict and unconscious resistance. Forgive yourself for not being at peace. The moment you completely accept your non-peace becomes transmuted into peace. Anything you accept fully will get you there, will take you into peace. This is the miracle of surrender. This is a fucking miracle of surrender, okay? What's he saying? He's saying that everybody out there trying to find peace, searching for this thing, this magical thing, stop, okay? You're jammed up, you're angry, you're upset, good. Stay that way, feel that way, be in that thing. Because when you do that, and you accept that that's your state, your present, transmutation, baby. Alchemy, I'm telling you, you're an alchemist. You're making gold of your life. Stay hot, baby. If it is the quality of your consciousness at this moment that determines the future, then what is it that determines the quality of your consciousness? Answer: your degree of presence. Your degree of presence. So the only place where true change can occur and where the past can be dissolved is the now. Is the now. The only place where true change can occur and where the past can be dissolved is the now. So right now is all there is. Okay? And what's going to happen in the future is determined by what happens right now. Of course, in the future, you're going to experience the future in the now of that now. But right now, you are driving the train. You are creating the future in this moment, right now. So what are you doing? So what are you doing?
Right now, you don't know how this video is going to end. Everything beyond this moment exists in this realm of the unknown. And yet, this realm of unknown is what most of us are least comfortable with. We get anxious and worried because we don't know, but we think we should know. But life isn't about knowing things. It's about experiencing things because they will always exist in this realm of the unknown. So I believe that the degree to which you can become comfortable with not knowing, become comfortable with this realm of the unknown, is the degree to which you can become comfortable with life.
Bruce Lee philosophy.
Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Did you know a different version of you exists in the minds of everyone that knows you? I read a book that blew my mind. The main character goes crazy when he realizes nobody really knows him. The gist is that the person that you think of as yourself exists only for you. And even you really don't know who that is. Every person that you meet, have a relationship with, or make eye contact with on the street creates a version of you in their head. You're not the same person to your mom, your dad, your siblings than you are to your coworkers, your friends, or your neighbors. There are 1,000 different versions of yourself out there in other people's minds. A you exists in each version, and yet your you, yourself, doesn't really exist at all.
I have a paradox that I want you to contemplate. Now, don't try to understand this with your mind. I want you to understand this with your heart. The paradox goes like this. The key to life is to understand that you have absolutely no control. Nothing in your experience have you ever had control over, even the simple act of getting a glass of water? But at the same time that you have had no control, you have also been the infinite creator of everything in your experience, including the glass of water, the chair, the table, and the sky and the trees. So you are both simultaneously the infinite creator and the one with absolutely zero control.
People can only respond to you from their current level of awareness. And it is your response to their response that tells you everything you need to know about where you're at within yourself on your journey. Just a perspective to think about.
I own my own mind. I found a way to tap into the brain and to find a way to go past this conditioned mind. And there suddenly I find there are ways to heal myself. There are ways to pass it on to anybody else. There are ways to deal with depression and mental disorders. There are ways to get more energy out of myself. I own my own mind. And I'm showing this to others hey, own your own mind. It's possible. We got millions of data that we are so conditioned through hundreds and years of stealth and being brainwashed in certain ways that is serving a system. Our schooling is serving a system wherein we get careers and all that. Is not so necessarily serving happiness, strength, and health.
This is a concept that may help you stop from living an endless cycle of suffering, helplessness, and struggle against problems you feel like you have no control over. There's a gap between the things we need to do and the things we want to do that's uncomfortable, and it stops us from living the life we want to. Most of the time, we're stuck in an area defined by external limitations. These are things that we think we have to do, where we use guilt or shame to get ourselves to do what we need to do, and a fear or a need to survive is pushing us into action. These are all external drivers that we want to simply deal with and get away from. We want to move from doing things that we feel we have to do to the things that we want to do. These are activities driven by desire and excitement. And it's a situation where we're thriving because we feel like we've become the author of our own life. This is a situation where we feel more in control of our future because we're acting based on internal drivers instead of external limitations. This is something we desire, a movement upwards from pain and lack of control towards pleasure and the ability to choose. The problem is that there's a space in between where we get stuck. Performance, based on desire and excitement, requires you to have enough energy to get excited and have desire. To honestly work hard on something because you want to is difficult. And when we spend our lives fighting to survive, it often drains us to a point that we don't have our desires easily available to us for us to tap into. Also, when we're busy working hard to survive external threats, we don't have time to listen to our internal voice of desire. In fact, we often step on, silence, and feel guilty for our desires because they distract us from the hard work of surviving. So our ability to even know what we want just isn't present in our lives. So once we succeed at beating the game of survival, we have to do extremely uncomfortable work to transition from external to internal drivers. We have to decide that we've done enough, to take the time to rest the way we couldn't when we were too afraid to stop working. We have to take the time to play to reignite our passion for life. And we have to be quiet enough to listen to our own minds, to understand our thoughts and desires so we can move forwards. You have to ask yourself the question, what do you want? Enough times to get an honest answer that isn't a shallow craving or a duty or guilt-based desire based on what you think you should do or have to do. And this is really hard. This is the real work. Because if you're coming out of a survival mindset, all of your habitual thoughts are wired based on the fear of not surviving, and you aren't going to automatically think about what you really want to do or have the energy to do it. So you'll have to sit in the space between the work you had to do and the work you really want to do. And when you don't have the energy to move forwards into the desire-based way of living, and you have to sit where you are for a bit, your guilt often magnifies itself. Because you've been working hard your entire life, and here you are, sitting here, successful, doing nothing.
Sometimes I think that our reality is actually so subjective that it's literally what you make of it, you know? Like, some people are like, oh, there's heaven and hell, or some people, they're like, oh, there's reincarnation. It's like, whatever you want, it's real for you, you know? Like, maybe some people die, and they're like, aha, here's a heaven, I was right. That's your reality, and then another person's reality, they might get reincarnated, kind of like in the movie Soul or something like that, and they're like, ha, I knew what I was right, but it's like, well, you're all right, and you're all wrong. It just literally depends on you. How do you know that someone's red as in you're green kind of thing? Like, you would never know. You would never freaking know, and I think our reality is actually that subjective, which is fine, because then it's like, you can kind of let go of trying to convince people that your reality is the right reality, and just do what makes you feel happy, and you let others do what makes them feel happy. And maybe that would be a better way to live. I don't know.